Hello peeps, and welcome back to FTR. Today we're taking a break from transfers to look at something that will shape football for decades to come. Stadiums. Across Europe, clubs are investing billions into brand new homes and major redevelopments. Some of these projects are already under construction, some have only just been approved, and one of football's most iconic stadiums is preparing to close the chapter on an incredible history. As always with FTR, we'll stick to the confirmed facts. Some of the figures you'll hear today, such as projected costs, capacities, and opening dates, are based on the latest official plans. So let's take a tour around Europe and count down 10 of the biggest stadiums in development. Number 1, San Siro, Italy. We're beginning with what is, in my opinion, the biggest stadium story in world football. The countdown to the end of the San Siro as we've known it for generations has officially begun. After years of political debates, redesigns and uncertainty, AC Milan and Inter are now pressing ahead with plans for a brand new shared stadium to be built immediately next to the current Giuseppe Meazza. Current proposals suggest construction could begin during 2027, with the new stadium targeted to open during the 2030 to 2031 season. Once both clubs have moved into their new home, much of the existing San Siro is expected to be demolished, although current plans do preserve parts of its famous exterior, creating a public space celebrating the stadium's incredible history. The proposed capacity is around 71,500 supporters. That's actually a little smaller than today's San Siro, which holds just over 75,800 fans, but the new stadium is being designed with a greater focus on hospitality, premium seating, and year-round commercial facilities. The overall project is estimated to cost around 1.2 billion euros, although that figure could still change as construction progresses. The stadium has been designed by Foster & Partners alongside Manica, two firms with enormous experience in world-class sporting venues. Preparatory work has already begun around the site, with some older buildings already removed, making this much more than just another concept on paper. It's a strange one, really. A new stadium makes complete sense financially, but for football romantics, saying goodbye to the San Siro won't be easy. European Cups, Champions League classics, World Cup matches, Milan derbies. It's one of those grounds that feels bigger than football itself. Number 2 is Roma, Italy. Staying in Italy now, and Roma are edging ever closer to finally getting a stadium they can call their own. The proposed Pietrolata Stadium has continued to move through the planning process during this year, with several major approvals now secured. The Rome City Assembly has approved the technical and economic feasibility project, while the Lazio regional government has also approved the cooperation agreement needed for the next stage. The proposed stadium would hold around 60,605 supporters and is expected to cost just over 1 billion euros. Again, those figures are based on the current plans and remain subject to change. If everything continues on schedule, construction is expected to begin during 2027, with Roma hoping the stadium could be ready in time for Euro 2032. Unlike the Stadio Olimpico, which Roma currently share with Lazio, this would become a fully club-owned home. The plans include a massive Curva Sud capable of creating one of the best atmospheres in Italian football, alongside a museum, club shop, hospitality areas and large public parks surrounding the stadium. Roma supporters have been hearing talk about a new stadium for what feels like forever. Several previous projects have fallen through over the years, so there is still work to do before construction begins. But this time the project feels far more tangible than anything we've seen before. Number 3, Camp Nou, Spain. Next up, one of the most famous stadiums on the planet. Barcelona's Camp Nou continues its incredible transformation as part of the wider Espai Barça project. When complete, the redeveloped stadium is expected to become Europe's largest football ground once again, with a planned capacity of around 105,000 supporters. Current estimates place the overall redevelopment at approximately 1.5 billion euros, making it one of the largest sporting infrastructure projects in Europe. Construction has continued throughout this year, with visible progress on the seating bowl, hospitality areas, internal facilities, and the enormous new roof structure. The finished stadium will include thousands of solar panels. significantly improved accessibility, new VIP facilities, expanded commercial areas, and a completely modernized matchday experience. Barcelona have also invested heavily in the surrounding district, creating new public spaces and improving transport links as part of the wider Espai Barça development. The reopening timetable has changed several times during construction, so any projected completion dates should still be treated as provisional. But one thing is certain: when it's finally finished, Camp Nou will once again be one of the most impressive football stadiums anywhere in the world, and hopefully it'll still take less than half time to find your seat. Number 4. Club Brugge. Over to Belgium now, where one of the country's biggest sporting projects has finally received the green light. After years of legal challenges and planning appeals, Club Brugge's new stadium has now secured final approval. The new stadium will be built on the Olympia site in Bruges and is expected to hold around 40,100 supporters. Construction is currently expected to begin later during 2026, with the ambition of opening for the 2028 to 2029 season. Again, those dates remain subject to change as the project develops. The design itself looks fantastic. A huge 12,000-seat home end should generate an incredible atmosphere, while the stadium will also feature around 4,000 hospitality seats, 40 executive boxes, and a striking translucent facade inspired by traditional Bruges lace. Club Brugge will continue playing at the Jan Breidel Stadium throughout construction, before eventually moving into what should become Belgium's most modern football stadium. For a club that regularly competes in European competitions, this feels like a huge statement of intent. Number 5. Olympiakos. Our next stop takes us to Greece. Olympiakos have unveiled ambitious redevelopment plans for the Georgios Kariskakis Stadium. Rather than moving elsewhere, the club wants to completely transform its existing home into one of the most advanced football venues in Southeast Europe. The concept images reveal a dramatic new exterior, expanded hospitality facilities, improved supporter areas, and extensive commercial space designed to keep the stadium active throughout the year. Current proposals suggest a future capacity of around 53,000 spectators, compared with just over 33,000 today. The redevelopment has been reported as being worth around 250 million euros, although neither the final cost nor the stadium capacity has been formally confirmed, and both remain subject to change. Likewise, projected construction and completion dates are still dependent on planning approvals and the final design being signed off. Even so, the ambition behind the project is obvious. If it goes ahead as currently proposed, Olympiakos won't simply have a bigger stadium. They'll have one of the most technologically advanced football venues in the region. And that's exactly the sort of investment clubs need if they want to keep competing with Europe's biggest names. Number 6. Valencia. Our next stop takes us to Spain, where one of football's longest-running construction stories is finally moving again. The new Mestalla project has almost become football folklore. Construction originally began way back in 2007, before financial problems brought everything to a standstill. For more than 15 years, supporters were left staring at a giant concrete shell on the edge of the city, wondering if it would ever be finished. Well, now it finally looks like it will. After securing around 322 million euros in financing, Valencia have restarted work on the stadium, and progress has become increasingly visible throughout this year. One of the biggest recent milestones has been the construction of the enormous roof structure. The compression ring has now been installed, steel roof columns are in place, and work continues on the cables that will eventually support the roof. When completed, the new Mestalla is expected to hold around 70,000 supporters, making it one of the largest football stadiums in Europe. Current plans target an opening during the 2027 to 2028 season, although like every major construction project, that timeline remains subject to change. The new stadium will include significantly improved hospitality areas, modern supporter facilities, and commercial spaces designed to generate much greater revenue than the current Mestalla. It's taken far longer than anyone imagined. But after nearly 2 decades of uncertainty, Valencia supporters can finally see genuine progress. Number 7, Union Saint-Gilloise. Back to Belgium now, where one of Europe's oldest football clubs is preparing for a brand new home. Union Saint-Gilloise have received conditional planning approval for their proposed new stadium at the Bempt site in Forest, just outside Brussels. The proposed stadium would hold around 15,881 supporters and meet UEFA Category 4 standards, allowing the club to host European matches at their own ground. That might not sound enormous compared to some of today's other projects, but for Union, it's absolutely transformational. The plans include a modern football-specific stadium, improved public sports facilities, better transport connections, and significant investment in the surrounding public spaces. It's important to mention that the approval comes with several conditions. Areas such as transport, parking, environmental protection, biodiversity, and water management must all be addressed before construction can fully move ahead. So while this isn't the final hurdle, it's undoubtedly one of the biggest milestones the project has achieved so far. After their remarkable rise back to the top of Belgian football, this new stadium would provide a fitting home for one of Europe's oldest and most historic clubs. Number 8. Hellas Verona. Back to Italy now, where Hellas Verona have taken another significant step towards replacing the Stadio Bentegodi. The club has appointed world-renowned architecture firm Gensler to lead the design of a proposed new stadium in Verona. If that name sounds familiar, Gensler has worked on major sporting developments all over the world, making this a significant appointment for the project. The current vision centers on a modern football-specific stadium capable of helping Verona become one of the host cities for Euro 2032. Current proposals suggest a capacity of around 33,000 supporters, although that figure remains subject to change while the design develops. The project would replace the aging Bentegodi, which first opened in the 1960s and has hosted everything from Serie A football to the 1990 FIFA World Cup. At this stage, the stadium remains in the design and planning phase, so there are still several approvals to secure before construction can begin. But bringing Gensler on board shows just how serious Verona are about finally delivering a new home. Number 9. One of the most picturesque football grounds in Europe is also undergoing one of its biggest transformations. Situated on the shores of Lake Como, the Stadio Giuseppe Sinigallia is currently being redeveloped into a modern stadium capable of hosting European football. The first phase of construction is already underway. Major demolition work has taken place, including the removal of the old Curva Como, making way for new stands and upgraded facilities. The long-term vision is a stadium holding around 15,000 supporters, compared with just over 12,000 today. Those figures remain part of the current redevelopment plans and could still change as work progresses. Designed by Populous, the redevelopment aims to preserve the stadium's unique lakeside character while modernizing the facilities to UEFA standards. Rather than creating a giant arena, Como have chosen to focus on quality over quantity. The new stadium will remain intimate, close to the pitch, and perfectly suited to its spectacular surroundings. Let's be honest, there probably aren't many away days where the scenery is as impressive as Lake Como. Number 10. Paris Saint-Germain. We finish in France with one of the most interesting stadium stories in Europe. For years, it looked as though Paris Saint-Germain were preparing to leave the Parc des Princes altogether. The club and the city of Paris had reached a stalemate over ownership of the stadium, with PSG insisting they wanted to own the ground before committing to a major redevelopment. But during this year, negotiations have officially reopened. Talks between the club and the city have resumed, raising the possibility that PSG could remain at the Parc des Princes after all. If an agreement can be reached, proposals have suggested expanding the stadium from its current capacity of just under 48,000 to somewhere between 60,000 and 70,000 supporters. Those figures are still conceptual rather than confirmed, and any redevelopment would depend entirely on the outcome of the ongoing negotiations. Alternative sites remain an option if no agreement is reached. So for now, the future of one of Europe's most iconic stadiums remains uncertain. Whether PSG stay and transform the Parc des Princes or eventually move elsewhere, one thing is clear. The next few years will shape the future of football in Paris for generations. And that's a wrap on today's European Stadium update. It's incredible to think that over the next few years, millions of supporters will walk through the gates of these stadiums for the very first time. Some of these projects are still only plans on paper, while others are already taking shape. One thing's for certain though, the football grounds we watch today are going to look very different by the end of the decade. Of course, these projects are constantly evolving, so if there are any major updates, or if another club unveils ambitious plans, you can be sure we'll cover them here on FTR. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Which of these stadium projects are you most excited about? Are you looking forward to Barcelona returning to a completed Camp Nou? Do you think replacing the San Siro is the right decision, or is there another stadium project we should have included? Let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and if you know someone who loves football stadiums as much as transfers, send this video their way. Cheers, and I'll catch you in the next one.